Did we just see a dynasty fall?
Ball's on the ground. Ball's on the ground. It's picked up by the Raiders. Do they have a touchdown?
Chiefs look terrible, bro.
Mahomes throws, and he's picked off. And this one's going back for a touchdown. 2 steps, 2 defensive touchdowns.
The Chiefs seem like a tired football team.
To the end zone, and no flag.
They seem like a worn-down football team.
Puts it down, and that pick, it's no good.
If we clean it up, we can beat anybody. I truly believe that. It's just we haven't consistently done it enough game in and game out.
Bro, we in week 16, and you still talking about consistency? Bro, we 2 weeks from the end of the season.
Well, the Raiders stole Christmas from Kansas City, those nasty little Grinches, with Mahomes having one of the worst performances of his career, falling to 10-2 against Vegas. And the Chiefs have now lost 6 games in a season for the first time in the Mahomes era. So let's talk about this embarrassing loss as we digest the main takeaways and process through it together and look at where the Chiefs go from here. But first, how about those Chiefs? All right, I'm just going to say it. This game was absolutely sloshed on spiked eggnog. There's no other logical explanation for how bad Pacheco Mahomes and the offense played. So many weird things happen on both sides of the ball, and that's the only real takeaway I have from this game. Well, that and the Chiefs' defense is insanely good, but the offense is now way more than just a concern. It is officially a problem, one that could see the Chiefs bounced early in the playoffs, but first they have to freaking make it there. 16 weeks and 0 issues have been fixed from week 1, and it's actually only getting worse, with yesterday's performance being a complete catastrophic collapse. At least on the offensive side of the ball. This game started out bad, and the first drive alone basically foreshadowed how horrible the game was gonna be for the offense. For example, on 2nd and 10 on the first opening drive, there was a broken play on an RPO. Then the very next play, Mahomes bobbled the snap and fumbled, trying to throw it away, and caught his own pass, setting up a 4th and 21. The Raiders then muffed Townsend's first punt, but luck fell their way as they were able to recover the fumble. And oh, how I wish as a Chiefs fan that would happen to us every once in a while. But oh well. Chris Jones then quickly made his presence felt with a clutch sack on 2nd down, and Aiden O'Connell then had to dirt a failed screen pass, and Vegas punted right back to KC. Richie James had a decent return, and a penalty then gave KC the ball back on the Raiders side of the field. But Travis Kelce dropped a pass. Rashee Rice got hit with a false start. Mahomes then got sacked again. Then on this play, MVS got flagged for offensive offsides as well. Another self-inflicted penalty. I do not want to see another wide receiver flagged for offensive offsides the rest of the season, or I myself will go up to Arrowhead and have a wee little chat. Well, that would solve absolutely nothing, and while the penalty was ultimately declined, it was just another example of the offense unable to do the little things correctly. So Townsend punted a 2nd time in a row, which made for the 3rd straight 3-and-out back-to-back-to-back of the game between the Chiefs and Raiders. Vegas, this time though, got some momentum and were able to dink and dunk their drunk way down the field, converting a 3rd and 2, and a nice screen to Jacoby Myers brought them all the way to the 12-yard line, but L'Jarius Sneed and Shamari Connor weren't going to let them get away with a quick little pass to the left, and Sneed then proceeded to make another clutch tackle on 3rd down, so the Raiders kicked a quick 3 points. The Chiefs offense then started out with an ugly screen pass to Pacheco that resulted in a loss of 6 yards, and so on 2nd and 16, they try something completely different, right? Wrong! I don't know why I yelled at you guys there. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. But they went back to another Pacheco screen on the other side of the field, this time for 0 yards. And before I go any further, that marked the end of the first quarter. And this first quarter for the Chiefs was so insanely bad that it was the fewest yards gained by an offense, I believe, in the first quarter in like 19 years. That's right. They gained a total of negative 18 yards because 3 passes went for like -5. Mahomes was sacked for 18 yards lost, and then 2 Mahomes rushes gained them 5. Just freaking awful. And believe it or not, but the Raiders offense wouldn't even complete a pass for the rest of the game. Aiden O'Connell had a total of 48 net passing yards at the conclusion of the game, and all those passing yards were gained in the first quarter. Well, to start the second quarter off, a Raiders hold helped move the chains on the Chiefs' long 3rd and 15. Max Crosby then nearly got to Mahomes, the theme of the night, and Pacheco had nowhere to go on the next play, with the Chiefs' O-line continuing to get bullied in the trenches. It was actually so bad that Mahomes could be seen on the sideline trying to light a fire under them. Don't believe me? Here's the clip and the revealed audio of what he actually said.
Come on, guys, they're busting my ass out here. Please get him. He keep getting to me. Let's go.
Okay, maybe, just maybe, that wasn't actually Patrick Mahomes, but you get the point. Did it work? I don't know, maybe a little bit, but after a pass was caught short of the first down, KC punted for their 3rd time in a row. Didn't matter though, because again, Aiden O'Connell didn't complete a single pass outside of the first quarter. This man had a blindfold on, running around like the lady from Bird Box, overthrowing Adams. Then a pass bounced off of Adams, who I guess wore the blindfold on that play. Then pressure from McDuffie forced Aiden to overthrow Adams once again. This time though, the Chiefs offense showed us a rare glimpse of what we all hoped and longed, fasted and prayed that they could have been and looked like, etc. this season more times than not. After an incomplete pass that appeared to be thrown behind MVS, Rice caught a nice first down on 3rd and 10, then on 3rd and 3, Richie James caught a clutch short one, spinning for the first, then a quick pass to Kelce had him shooting out like a cannon. This man looked a lot quicker than he has most times this season. Kelce caught another one right after, then Pacheco not only got the first down, but shortly after took a direct snap and found the end zone on a fake reverse to Mahomes, waltzing in on the left side for 6 points, which put KC up 7-3 after a Butker PAT. Stay tuned though, because the Chiefs took that trick play straight to the freaking dome and wanted to try another one here after the Raiders' next drive went just 5 plays for 18 yards. And this drive was stopped thanks to L'Jarius Sneed being him and the run defense actually showing up on 3rd down. More on the run defense later. But with 5 minutes left in the second quarter, KC decided to run another trick play with Pacheco taking the direct snap once again, but this time he was supposed to hand the ball off to Mahomes, and that handoff was mishandled, resulting in a fumble that was picked up by Vegas and taken in for a touchdown. Andy Reid said Pacheco was trying to protect the ball there because of the defensive penetration that happened on that play. Again, theme of the night with the O-line folding. Then Mahomes echoed a similar statement saying they worked on it all week, but the defense got penetration. They didn't make it happen. He then said, those are mistakes that cannot happen. Well, Patrick, not only do these mistakes keep happening, but they continue to take place quite frequently. Want to know how I know? It's not because I know everything. It's because the Chiefs are now tied for dead last in turnover differential, -10, and they're tied with the Washington Commanders. Then just above those two teams are the Vikings and the Jets. And the craziest part about all this is the Chiefs are the only ones on this list of 4 to have a winning record, which is impressive and depressing all at the same time. And this is because turnovers keep happening on offense. It's not all on Mahomes though. Some have been fumbles, though Mahomes does have the 3rd most INTs of any quarterback in the NFL. And as well as the defense is playing, they are one of the worst in actually getting takeaways, having only 16 on the season, near the bottom of the list. And if you combine that with the fact that the Chiefs offense is at the top in giveaways, it's just no bueno. And another reason why the Chiefs are now tied for dead last in turnover differential is because after that scoop and score for a touchdown, the Chiefs offense got the ball right back. And on the very next play, Mahomes threw a pass that he himself said he should not have thrown, a pass that Justin Watson for some reason backpedaled away from instead of coming back to fight for, a pass that defensive back Jack Jones made a great play on, picking off Mahomes and taking it to the house, resulting in the 2nd Raiders defensive score in a row. And the craziest part about this is those 2 scores only took 7 seconds of game clock to happen. I know I'm laughing. It's just freaking insane. That means 8 seconds prior, it was Chiefs 7, Raiders 3. 8 seconds later, it was Raiders 17, Chiefs 7, which was also weird how the Raiders even got to 17 because after the first turnover scored, they missed the PAT. Then the next one, they went for 2 and got it. Well, that certainly escalated quickly, and these self-inflicted wounds are something that this year at least, the Chiefs offense really struggles to overcome.
I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
It jumped up a notch.
It did, didn't it?
Next up, in case you want to know where the best and easiest place to play fantasy sports is, it's Underdog fantasy. And any new customer who signs up using code HBTC or the sign up link in the description will get a 100% deposit match up to $100, as well as a pick'em special in the lobby. And these specials are pretty much always easy W's. And how pick'em works is you can choose between 2 and 5 players to win up to 20x on your money by picking higher or lower on your favorite player stats. And if you aren't super confident, you can always turn on pick'em insurance, which gives you a little wiggle room on your entries. On top of that, you can even spice up your pick'ems with scorchers and boost your total payout so you can win up to 100x your money on pick'em entries. Then there's also lots of awesome tournaments you can play in as well that's updated every single week, including some new ones even popping up for the playoffs filled with lots and lots of prizes. These are super easy to play and only take 3 to 6 minutes to complete, so make sure to head on over to the Underdog website or app. Both are super easy to navigate, and use code HBTC at sign up to get your first deposit of up to $100 matched plus a pick'em special in the lobby. All right, after those 2 disastrous plays, Kelce did find a little life in establishing a drive down the field with Rice getting involved early, as well as Justin Watson. Mahomes then almost threw another INT here while scrambling. Shortly after that, though, the Chiefs went for a fake punt on 4th and 5 with Justin Watson making a great sliding grab. Shout out to Tommy Townsend too on the throw, which helped move the chains. And a crazy thing that happened here was Travis Kelce was actually nowhere to be found after the 4th down conversion, because once the offense was off the field facing another 4th down, he was pissed off, threw his helmet, not knowing a fake punt was coming, and Andy Reid kept him out for, I don't know, a little bit there and had a wee little chat with him, but also a bit of a shoulder check, like, yo, cut that ish out or I'm canceling your podcast. Anyway, after that, Justin Watson got involved again on a freak play from Mahomes, avoiding pressure, and eventually found Watson for a first on 3rd and 3. However, didn't matter much because with time running out, they had to settle for a field goal, a short 36-yarder, but Butker, he missed his 2nd field goal of the season, making this 2 games in a row with a missed field goal after being perfect through the first 14 weeks. So that made it Chiefs 7, Raiders 17 at halftime, with the Raiders having the ball to start the 3rd quarter, but Kelce's defense held strong, making several great plays. And after another Raiders punt, Mahomes tried to will a drive mentally and physically, scrambling on multiple plays, taking hits instead of sliding, basically running all over the field to the point of near exhaustion. He used his legs to convert on a 4th and 1, and even got Justin Ross involved, who caught 1 pass on the day for 2 whole yards. Woohoo! Then Mahomes scrambled for another 1st down on 2nd and 8, getting across midfield. Shortly after, he had a miscue with Rashee Rice and went back to him on 4th and 5, resulting in an incomplete pass and a turnover on downs. And the reason why they went for it is because they have no respect for the Raiders offense, who again didn't complete a single pass after the 1st quarter. And thanks to a Charles Omenihu sack, KC got another chance. But after Mahomes got sacked, Pacheco caught a pass for 5 yards in the middle of the field with his helmet getting knocked off. And as Pacheco was slung backwards to the ground, Creed Humphrey accidentally kneed him in the head, who was running behind him to try to help him out there. And that put Pacheco out for the rest of the game due to a concussion, a scary sight to see considering, again, Pop took a knee to the bare head with no helmet on, and we shall see if he returns this Sunday to play against the Bengals or if he needs more time. Since we're talking about injuries, the only other player Andy Reid mentioned after the game was right guard Trey Smith, who left the game dealing with a calf issue, but Snead was shaken up on a play and had to get his knee looked at. So hopefully all these are minor issues, but we should learn more either way this week when we see the injury report. Anyway, back to the game, because on 3rd and 9, Mahomes threw to, I don't know, maybe Casper the Friendly Ghost, incomplete, 4th down, and Townsend had to punt and shanked that punt very badly. It only went 22 yards. Horrible freaking punt indeed, and this set the Raiders up with a short field, and they were actually able to turn that into 3 points thanks to a solid 16-yard play here from Zamir White on 3rd and 1. The run defense unable to hold. And then, trailing by 13 heading into the 4th quarter, KC's offense needed to do something ASAP. Well, they were able to matriculate the ball down the field thanks to back-to-back catches by Rice. Mahomes is then using his legs. Noah Gray got involved, and then Mahomes almost threw what could have been yet another INT that was thankfully overturned after a review. And I don't know which part of that play was more frustrating, Mahomes trying to force that ball on 1st and 10, or the fact that MVS had basically zero awareness on the scramble drill, not even realizing Noah Gray, his play design was to be up near the sideline, and MVS just casually led his defender right over there, and that's the guy that nearly made the INT. Shout out to MVS, by the way, a guy I just did a video on showing his extremely unfortunate decline this season. He's getting paid $11 million to do so. A guy who had had 61 offensive snaps yesterday, as many as Travis Kelce, and caught 0 passes for goose egg yards. Now, I get the fact that Tony was ruled out and Sky Moore is on IR, but this man had only 44 snaps over the last 2 games prior, 22, yet then had 61 snaps that once again led to 0 yards.
Are you kidding me?
I digress about MVS for now, though, because after that close call, CEH had a hard-fought catch, willing his way to some extra yards. Then Mahomes scrambled once again on 3rd and 1 to help move the chains. CEH then got involved again with a beautiful 32-yard screen pass on 2nd and 17 that got KC all the way up to the 9-yard line. CEH broke a huge tackle on that play to give KC some life. However, such is life, right now at least, as a Chiefs fan, because even though they got in the red zone, they were within the 10-yard line. They went for it on 4th down, and they were not able to score, resulting in a turnover on downs. And this is pretty wild to think about, that the Chiefs offense once again struggled in the red zone, being ranked 14th this season so far after being 2nd best just last year. Thankfully, the Raiders offense sucks, and they went just 6 plays for 18 yards and had to punt for the 6th time on the day, giving the ball back to KC with just 6 minutes left in the game. KC had to go for it on 4th and 1 and to move the chains. Mahomes once again had to use his legs, a theme of the day. Then Richie James caught 2 passes in a row, a quick one on the left side, then a broken coverage catch for 45 yards. That set up a 1st and goal. Noah Gray then dropped a probably should have been touchdown catch, but Mahomes avoided a sack and connected with Justin Watson shortly after for the score, making this a 6-point game with 2 minutes and 42 seconds remaining. They also had the 2-minute warning as well as 2 timeouts, so there's enough time if the Chiefs defense can stop them, but the Chiefs defense was tired. The run defense could not hold. They gave up not only a 43-yard run, but also a 15-yard run a couple of plays later, and that was all she wrote. The Raiders ended their losing streak against KC, getting their first W since October of 2020. And I want to be very clear here. If any Raiders fan is listening, hats off to you guys. You were the better team. You got the W. You earned it, so congrats. My Christmas was ruined, but you guys had a great one, I'm sure. And this loss officially puts the 1 seed in the AFC out of the Chiefs' grasp, though with a win against the Bengals or the Chargers, or a Raiders loss or tie, as well as a Broncos loss or tie, KC can still win the AFC West for the 8th year in a row. And hey, aside from the run defense at times, they were pretty tired at the end of the game. No excuses, I guess, though. They did not play well against the run. The Chiefs defense played a pretty good game otherwise, holding Vegas to just 3 for 12 on 3rd down and only allowed 6 points. Yes, just 2 field goals as a result from the Raiders' offensive drives. That's basically a W in any game with a semi-competent offense. However, the big issue here is that the Chiefs' offense currently is not. In an era where we are used to seeing the Chiefs' offense getting better towards the end of the season, being able to come back, score at will, etc., they are doing the exact opposite. They are 3-5 in their last 8 games, averaging just 18.25 points per game. They have 15 giveaways, 15 turnovers, yet only 5 takeaways. And the worst part of it all, the offense is out here blowing games while the defense is arguably the best they've had in the Mahomes era. A damn shame. All the offense has to do is limit turnovers at times, some small miscues, have a few less drops here, a couple less penalties there, and put up roughly 22 points a game. In fact, had they accomplished 22 points a game in their losses, the Chiefs would currently be 13-2, but instead they are now 9-6. And this is officially the most losses we've seen by a Mahomes-led team since he became a starter. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it, guys. This was a bad loss. The offensive line got bullied. Mahomes was pressured 33 times, scrambling a career high 8 times, was tied for the most dropbacks this season with 22, and was sacked 4 times, which was the first time this has happened this season. The most I believe he's been sacked in a game is 5, so tied for the second most. And on top of the O-line struggling, Mahomes himself is far from blame in this game. He struggled in what could be argued as the worst game of his career. He had 5 turnover-worthy plays, which included the pick 6, the 2 dropped INTs, the muffed handoff that was fumbled and taken to the house, and then Get this, 85% of his 235 passing yards came after the catch. This was also Mahomes' worst graded game of his career via PFF with a 34.2 grade, and also made him the worst graded player on the team. And if that wasn't enough, out of the 109 games played as a starter, their performance yesterday as an offense ranked 109th in offensive EPA per drive. This makes yet another game where the Chiefs offense failed to score over 20 points, their 7th of the year, and this was full, once again, of penalties, miscues, turnovers, and this time Mahomes definitely played a pretty big role in the poor performance, and it didn't help he was getting pressured so much, which probably had him paranoid and frazzled out there as he finished just 27 for 44, averaging only 5.34 yards per attempt, his second worst of the season, with just one TD, that one nasty pick six, and a QBR of 31.6. And while this was definitely a winnable game for KC, the offense has shown, once again, they cannot come back late in games and win it. They've trailed in the fourth quarter during all 6 of their losses and have yet been able to overcome it. This is just a weird time, guys. The Mahomes magic at times seems gone. Kelce, one of the best in the game, has definitely lost a step at the age of 34, though again, he's about to put up another 1,000-yard season. And the coaching is not doing anyone favors. Of course, Andy Reid just says, I need to do better. This is on me. Blah, blah, blah. We'll get it figured out. But they say that every freaking week. And while I'm going to save a rant for another video, there's plenty of blame to go all around. And if the Chiefs can't figure things out immediately, even if they win the West, I fear they could be one and done in the playoffs this season, which is weird to even think about considering every year prior, as long as Mahomes was the starter, I've always believed there is a chance no matter what. But this season, this is the least confidence I've had in a Mahomes-led team, at least in the offense. And while I obviously will root for them every step of the way and hope they make it AFC Championship game, Super Bowl, get the dub, the offense has got to play better, even just a little, or they're going to get sent home as soon as possible because the defense can only carry this team so far. And with all that being said, do you think the offense is going to be able to figure this out? They say it week after week, but have yet to prove that they can get it figured out. And then on top of that, what are your thoughts on this pathetic, miserable, embarrassing game along with your biggest concerns? Do you think this current team is a playoff caliber team or nah? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And until next time, let's go. Let's freaking go. How about those